All right, what if I told you a fifth-round rookie? Yeah, not a first-rounder, not even a top 100 pick. A fifth-round rookie just pulled off a contract move so disruptive, so innovative, that NFL owners are sweating bullets. Agents are calling. Emergency meetings and front offices across the league are scrambling to figure out how to respond. I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders. And if you think this is just another rookie signing story, let me tell you right now, you're missing the bigger picture. This isn't just about football anymore. This is about power. This is about leverage. This is about a new way of doing business in professional sports. And if what just happened in Cleveland is any indication, we're looking at the beginning of a complete cultural shift in the NFL. So, let's rewind for a second. The Browns just signed Shedeur Sanders to his rookie contract. 4 years, $4.6 million. Now, on paper, that sounds like any other standard rookie deal. He was the 144th overall pick in the 5th round. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? But underneath that contract, buried in the philosophy behind it, lies something revolutionary, something called prime equity. So please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Now stay with me, because I'm about to walk you through one of the most groundbreaking developments in NFL contract negotiations that we've ever seen. Prime equity. Those 2 words are about to change everything. This isn't some random phrase Shedeur cooked up to sound cool. This is a complete reframing of a player's value in the modern era. It's a new model that goes way beyond game stats, highlight reels, or combined numbers. Prime equity is the recognition that certain players, especially in today's social media-driven world, are the product. They're not just athletes anymore. They're brands, they're content creators, they're influencers. They're walking empires. And Shedeur Sanders? He's the prototype. Now here's where it gets real. Most rookies walk into the NFL just hoping to make the team. They keep their heads down, say the right things, and take whatever contract they're offered. But Shedeur came in different. He walked into that negotiating room already knowing his worth, not just what he could do on the field, but what he already was off the field. He brought numbers, followers, engagement stats, branding data, NIL earnings, YouTube metrics. He didn't come in begging for a shot. He came in owning the conversation. He said, "I'm not just here to play quarterback. I'm bringing an entire media ecosystem with me. I'm bringing value before I ever take a snap." And that's when the room got quiet. This idea of prime equity means Shedeur is being valued not just as a football player, but as a business asset. It's a concept inspired by his father, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. Let's not forget who we're talking about here. Deion wasn't just one of the most electrifying athletes of all time, he was the brand. The first guy to bring flash and substance into one persona. The suits, the interviews, the commercials, the catchphrases. Coach Prime was marketing before athlete marketing was even a thing. And now his son is taking that same game and running it through a 2024 media machine. But Shedeur's not just copying his father, he's evolving the model. Because now, he doesn't need a network to build a brand. He is the network. He's got his own YouTube show. He's on Twitch. He's pushing content directly to fans. He can drop a documentary tomorrow and have it trending by midnight. That's the power of owning your own audience. That's prime equity. And here's the part that's got the NFL nervous. This concept isn't just hypothetical anymore. It's already happening. Sources say that language inspired by prime equity ideas is being included in negotiations, not as a gimmick, but as real leverage. And Shedeur's team? They're not playing small ball. They're setting a precedent. Now think about this. What happens when college athletes who made millions in NIL deals start entering the NFL? Are they going to accept contracts that undervalue them compared to what they were already making in college? No chance. And Shedeur might be the first to draw that line in the sand. There's already talk that players like him will start demanding that their NFL earnings match or exceed their NIL earnings. Not as a bonus, not as a perk, as a baseline. Imagine that for a second. A quarterback walks in and says, I made $2.5 million at Colorado last year. That's the minimum I'll accept as a pro. It sounds insane now, but it might become normal. And Shedeur is kicking that door wide open. Look at what this guy's already built. He's not some TikTok quarterback doing silly dances for views. He's running a full-scale brand operation, multiple revenue streams, merch drops, sponsorships, streaming revenue. He's turned himself into a media powerhouse. And here's the wild part. He can monetize all of that independently of football. He doesn't need the NFL to make money. He's already proven that. And that independence, that's terrifying for the league. Because the more self-sufficient players become, the less control teams and the league office have. And once players realize they can be the boss, not just the employee, that's when everything changes. That's when the business model gets rewritten. We're heading into a future where NFL players will negotiate like entrepreneurs, where contracts won't just be about touchdowns and tackles, but about engagement rates, digital reach, and fan loyalty. And Shedeur Sanders, he's not just leading the charge, he is the charge. And let me make something clear, this isn't some fairy tale. This is a real-world disruption. This is happening right now. And if you're sitting back thinking, he's just a fifth-round pick, what impact can he really have? You've already missed it. You're thinking like it's 2004. This is 2024. Influence is currency, audience is leverage, and Shedeur Sanders just walked into the NFL with both. And here's the most important piece of all this. He's not alone. There's a whole generation of athletes behind him watching closely, taking notes, getting ready to follow that same path. And when that happens, when you've got a dozen, maybe 24 players all negotiating with prime equity in mind, the NFL is going to have no choice but to adapt or get left behind. So yeah, this all started with what looked like a routine rookie deal, a fifth-round pick signing for 4 years, $4.6 million. But when you zoom out, when you understand what's really going on here, you realize that contract might be the spark that lights the fire. Shedeur Sanders isn't just making a name for himself. He's making history. He's starting a movement. And the NFL will never be the same again. So, please take 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Let me break this down. The MAC contract that's making waves reportedly includes a $2 million bonus if Shedeur's combined YouTube, Instagram, or Twitch content hits 10 million views during the regular season. Yeah, you heard that right. NFL contracts might start including social media performance clauses. That's next-level stuff. But here's where it really gets groundbreaking. Content ownership. If this clause holds, Shedeur would keep exclusive ownership of all behind-the-scenes content that's not directly affiliated with the team. So that means documentary footage, live streams, behind-the-curtain vault content, it all stays under his control. The league doesn't get to touch it. They don't monetize it. That's all Shedeur's. And the merch? 20% of all sales on items that feature his name, image, or approved branding goes right into his pocket. We're not just talking game checks. We're talking about every jersey, every shirt, every fan rocking his brand. That's all revenue. Now, I'll be honest. My source was skeptical that NFL teams would fully agree to some of these more extreme clauses, especially one of the boldest, the brand equity match. That would allow Shedeur to co-invest in future team-affiliated media projects. Basically, he's not just a player. He becomes a business partner. But the fact that these conversations are even on the table, that says a lot. The game is changing. Players like Shedeur Sanders don't need the NFL the way players used to. They've got their own revenue streams, they've got direct lines to their audiences, and they're building platforms that generate real income outside of football. And that completely changes the balance of power. This is what we're calling prime equity. And it's not just about getting paid more. It's about getting paid differently. In today's world, a player's value isn't just about touchdowns and stats. It's about their media footprint, their influence, and their ability to create conversation, drive culture, and bring in revenue without ever touching the field. So when Coach Prime said, We don't sign contracts, we build legacies. That wasn't just some motivational quote. That was a philosophy shift. That was a whole new way of thinking about how athletes manage their careers. Because here's the truth. Guys like Shedeur are flipping the script. The NFL is starting to realize it needs players like him more than he needs the NFL. When you can pull millions of views and generate millions of dollars completely on your own, you become way more than just a player. You become a brand. And the Browns, they saw that. They didn't just pick up a quarterback, they invested in prime equity. They saw the potential to reinvent their franchise image, boost their cultural relevance, and dominate the media space. Think about it. When was the last time Cleveland's quarterback situation got this much attention, this much excitement? A fifth-round pick creating this kind of buzz? That's the power of Shedeur's presence. And here's what makes it even crazier. He might not even be the starter in Week 1. Word is, GM Andrew Berry and the coaching staff are keeping it competitive. Guys like Dillon Gabriel might get their shot first, but it doesn't matter. Even from the sidelines, Shedeur is creating value. Every headline, every YouTube breakdown, every merch sale and social media post, that's all ROI for the Browns. This is why the prime equity concept is so revolutionary. It's not just about what happens on the field anymore. It's about recognizing the full spectrum of value a player can bring to a franchise. It's about creating partnerships instead of just filling rosters. So where do we go from here? What happens if more players start pushing for contracts like this? What if this becomes the new normal? We could be looking at a total transformation of how professional sports operate. The NFL wouldn't just be competing with other leagues. Anymore, it'd be competing with YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Netflix, you name it. Players could start choosing media independence over traditional contracts if the money and freedom are better. That's the real question. Not whether prime equity will change the league, but how fast and how big that change will be. And if Shedeur Sanders pulls this off, if this model actually delivers results for both him and the Browns, then don't be surprised when every high-profile player with a camera and a brand starts demanding the same. This is the future of athlete empowerment. This is what it looks like when players stop acting like employees and start acting like entrepreneurs. And Shedeur Sanders, he might just be the one who sparks the revolution. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this whole prime equity concept? Is it the future of NFL contracts or just a one-off experiment? And should other players start negotiating for the same kind of treatment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. And if you want to stay in the loop on stories like this, contract details the mainstream media won't cover, behind-the-scenes negotiations, and the next wave of athlete-driven change, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because trust me, the Shedeur Sanders story, it's just getting started. Thanks for watching and see you next one.